Another day, another story. The Hershey Company, often called just Hershey or Hershey's, is an American multinational confectionery company headquartered in Hershey, Pennsylvania, United States, which is also home to Hershey Park and Hershey's Chocolate World. The Hershey Company is one of the largest chocolate manufacturers in the world. It also manufactures baked products, such as cookies and cakes, and sells beverages like milkshakes, as well as other products. The Hershey Company was founded by Milton S. Hershey in 1894 as the Hershey Chocolate Company, originally established as a subsidiary of his Lancaster Caramel Company. Welcome to Taboo Eminent Channel. The Hershey Trust Company owns a minority stake but retains a majority of the voting power within the company. Hershey's chocolate is available in 60 countries. It has 3 large distribution centers with modern labor management systems. In addition, Hershey is a member of the World Cocoa Foundation. It is also associated with the Hershey Park Stadium and the Giants Center. The Hershey Company has no affiliation to Hershey Creamery Company, though both companies were founded in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, in the same year. The companies have had a tumultuous relationship marked by multiple legal battles over trademark issues. In the mid-1990s, the companies settled their most recent legal battles out of court, with Hershey Creamery Company agreeing to add a disclaimer to its ice cream products to note that it is not affiliated with the Hershey Company. 19th century. After an apprenticeship to a Lancaster confectioner in 1873, Milton S. Hershey opened a candy shop in Philadelphia. The venture failed, and so did a subsequent one in Chicago. After a third failed business attempt in New York City, Hershey returned to Pennsylvania, where he founded the Lancaster Caramel Company in 1883. The Hershey Chocolate Company was founded in 1884 as a subsidiary of Lancaster Caramel Company. In 1896, Hershey built a milk processing plant so he could create and refine a recipe for his milk chocolate candies. In 1899, he developed the Hershey process, which is less sensitive to milk quality than traditional methods. In 1900, he began manufacturing the Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar. 20th century. The use of fresh milk in caramels proved successful, and in 1900, after seeing chocolate-making machines for the first time at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Hershey sold his caramel company for $1 million, equal to $35,176,000 today, and concentrated on chocolate. To people who questioned him, he said, "Caramels are just a fad, but chocolate is a permanent thing." In 1903, Hershey began construction of a chocolate plant in his hometown of Dairy Church, Pennsylvania, later known as Hershey, Pennsylvania. The town was an inexpensive place for the workers and their families to live, though the factory was built without windows, so that employees would not be distracted. To increase employee morale, Hershey provided leisure activities and created what would later become Hershey Park. The milk chocolate bars from this plant proved popular, and the company grew rapidly. Unionization. In the late 1930s, Hershey confronted labor unrest as a Congress of Industrial Organizations-backed union attempted to organize the factory workers. A failed sit-down strike in 1937 ended in violence. Loyalist workers and local dairy farmers beat many of the strikers as they attempted to leave the plant. By 1940, an affiliate of the American Federation of Labor successfully organized Hershey's workers under the leadership of John Shearer, who became the first president of local chapter number 464 of the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers and Grain Millers International Union. Local 464 now represents the Hershey workforce. Atlantic City Soap Venture. From around 1938 to 1952, Milton Hershey tried to make toilet soap, which saw a big boom after the Great Depression, as well as other hygiene-related items such as shampoo, toothpaste and perfume. Hershey took this opportunity to try to open a store on the Atlantic City boardwalk, which sold cocoa butter-scented toilet soap. The shop was a success for several decades, and the soap's production was sourced from Hershey estates. Other soaps such as Keystone soap, tar soap and shaving soap were also sold at the shop. Product distribution extended from New York City to Baltimore by 1953, when the shop closed down. M&M's. Shortly before World War II, Bruce Murray, son of longtime Hershey's president William F. R. Murray, struck a deal with Forrest Mars to create hard sugar-coated chocolate that would be called M&Ms, for Mars and Murray. Murray had a 20% interest in the product, which used Hershey chocolate during World War II rationing. In 1948, Mars bought out Murray and became one of Hershey's main competitors. Kit Kat and Rolo. In 1969, Hershey received a license from UK-based Rowntree's to manufacture and market Kit Kat and Rolo in the United States. After Hershey's competitor Nestlé acquired Rowntree's in 1988, it was still required to honor the agreement, and so Hershey continues to make and market the products in the U.S. The license would revert to Nestlé if Hershey were sold. This became a sticking point in Hershey's failed attempt to attract a serious buyer in 2002, and even Nestlé rejected Hershey's asking price, feeling that the economics would not work. Cadbury. In 1988, Hershey's acquired the rights to manufacture and distribute many Cadbury-branded products in the United States, except gum and mints, which are part of Mondelez International. In 2015, they sued a British importer to halt imports of British Cadbury chocolate, which reportedly angered consumers. A merger between Mondelez and Hershey's was considered but abandoned in 2016 after Hershey's turned down a $23 billion cash and stock bid. 20th Century Sales and Acquisitions. In 1977, Hershey acquired Y&S Candies, based in nearby Lancaster, makers of Twizzlers licorice candies, founded in 1845. In 1986, Hershey's made a brief foray into cough drops when it acquired the Luden's Cough Drops brand. In 2001, the brand was sold to Pharmacia, now part of Pfizer, and Luden's later was acquired by Prestige Brands. Hershey's kept Luden's Fifth Avenue bar. In 1996, Hershey purchased the American operations of the Leaf Candy Company from Huhtamaki. In 1999, the Hershey Pasta Group was divested to several equity partners to form the New World Pasta Company, which is now part of Ebro Foods. 21st Century. On July 25, 2002, Hershey Trust Company announced that it sought to sell its controlling interest in the Hershey Foods Corporation. The value of Hershey stock rose 25% in a single day, with over 19 million shares traded. Over the following 55 days, criticism of the intended sale from media, the Pennsylvania Attorney General, the Hershey, and Dauphin County Orphans Court senior judge, led the company to abandon its attempt to sell the company. 7 Hershey trustees who voted to sell Hershey Foods on September 17, 2002, for $12.5 billion United States dollars to the Wrigley Company, which is now part of Mars, Incorporated, were removed by Pennsylvania's attorney and the Dauphin County Orphans Court judge. 10 of the 17 trustees were forced to resign and 4 new members who lived locally were appointed. Former Pennsylvania Attorney General Leroy S. Zimmerman became the new chairman of the reconstituted Milton Hershey School Trustees. Zimmerman publicly committed to having the Milton Hershey School Trust always maintain its ownership of the Hershey Company. Carbon footprint. Within the confectionery industry, many essential ingredients are only able to grow in specific areas of the world. This makes them more susceptible to the negative impacts of climate change and increasing temperatures. Confectionery agriculture greatly impacts the environment. The emissions from the anaerobic decomposition of the cocoa pod husk contributes to the carbon footprint of agriculture. Producing cocoa using agroforestry method has negative effects that include the harmful composition of cocoa pod husks. Philanthropy. Hershey has made large contributions to education. One of their most notable contributions was to the honors program at Elizabethtown College in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. The program was established in 1999 and is funded partially through the endowment. In 2015, Hershey announced a commitment to the Clinton Global Initiative to help build a sustainable supply chain to support basic nutrition for children in Ghana. Hershey's long-term focus on children and families has yielded long-standing partnerships with organizations such as Children's Miracle Network, Ronald McDonald House, and United Way, UW. In 2016, the company donated more than $486,200 to those organizations. Criticism. Organization to End Chocolate Slavery says boycotting and protesting is an effective way to end child labor in cocoa production. Hershey has been criticized for not having programs to ensure sustainable and ethical cocoa purchases, lagging behind its competitors in fair trade measures. The "Raise the Bar, Hershey" campaign was launched in September 2010 by Global Exchange, Green America, the Oasis Trust, and the International Labor Rights Forum. The purpose of the Raise the Bar campaign was to pressure Hershey to commit to take immediate action to eliminate forced and child labor from Hershey's cocoa supply, to sourcing 100% fair trade certified cocoa beans by 2012 for at least one of its top 5 selling chocolate bars, making at least one additional top 5 selling bar 100% fair trade certified every 2 years thereafter, and that the majority of Hershey's cocoa across all products will be fair trade certified by 2022. In 2019, Hershey announced that they could not guarantee that their chocolate products were free from child slave labor, as they could trace only about 50% of their purchasing back to the farm level. According to the Washington Post, the commitment made in 2001 to eradicate such practices within 4 years had not been kept, neither at the due deadline of 2005, nor within the revised deadlines of 2008 and 2010, and that the result was not likely to be achieved for 2020. In 2021, Hershey was named in a class action lawsuit filed by 8 former child slaves from Mali who alleged that the company aided and abetted their enslavement on cocoa plantations in Ivory Coast. The suit accused Hershey, Nestlé, Cargill, Mars, Incorporated, Olam International, Barry Callebaut, and Mondelez International of knowingly engaging in forced labor, and the plaintiffs sought damages for unjust enrichment, negligent supervision, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The case was dismissed by U.S. District Judge Dabney Friedrich in 2022. Perception outside the U.S. The presence of butyric acid in Hershey's chocolate, due to the use of controlled lipolysis in the production process, results in a flavor unfamiliar to those accustomed to chocolate from other parts of the world. In the UK, this has often been compared to the smell and taste of vomit. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.